Hello, hello. Okay. Now, unit number two. This is the uh, part of industrial engineering method study. So, in this method study, the points contain the definitions, objective, scope of method study, basic procedures, symbols, recordings, then chart. Different types of charts are there. The operation process charts, flow process charts, multiple activity charts, 200 process charts, and two diagrams are there. That is the flow diagram and stream diagrams. At the same time, there is the travel charts, template models, and micro motion study. In this micro motion study, Thurbling's the small activity which has been shown by the symbols, that is called Thurblings, and the standard times, it has been decided that standard times for each motions, it has been shown on the CMO charts. Then critical examination, selection and implementation of this method. So these are the syllabus related to unit numbers 2. But before that, we have gone through the different types of the activity which will comes under the our industrial engineering, starting from the first. So uh, let us we go through the revisions of this, and then we will go to the uh, next unit, that is the method study. So in the last 2 3 lectures, uh, we have gone through the introductions to the industrial engineering. So what is actually industrial engineering? Definition, concept of the industrial engineering, the main objective of industrial engineering, contribution of F.W. Taylor's and E.F. Gilbert scientist. If you consider all these points, then totally this point is related to improvement in production and productivity, new development of the method study by reducing the cost. So this is actually a core concept related to uh, this industrial engineering. And while developing this industrial engineering parts, the two scientists, F. Gilbert and F.W. Taylor, they have given the contributions. F.W. Taylor, that is related to method study, and Gilbert related to the motion study. And next part, what is actually difference between production and productivity? Then productivity factors, which are the factors related to productivity, that we have discussed. Then after that, how to improve the productivity. Uh, the number of points are there. Task based technique means the whole our syllabus of industrial engineering. Product based techniques may be classification, codification, design, research and development, simplification, standardizations. So these product related things are there. Technology, the manually whatever things are there in industry need to develop we automatically by using our computers. Means here computer added designs is there, manufacturing is there, integrated manufacturing system is there, group technology is there, then the reconditioning maintenance part is there, the huge the cost related to our materials, that is material management techniques, This is also part of our improvement in the productivity. Employees and employers having good relations related to the facility of employers, definitely the productivity will get increased. Then we came across the work study. What is actually work study? This is part of the two work study. It is actually generic terms for those technique particularly used in our method study and work measurements. So, what is the objective of the work study? Ultimately, you have to consider how to increase the productivity. All these points will get covers under this. Then importance, the what is the importance? The effective utilizations of the all resources. This is the importance of this. And what is the procedures for work study? Select the particular works. Last times I have given one examples in foundry or in forging industry or any farming industry. You can select the any the work related area, record this ongoing process, critical examinations of this process, develop the new process, developing, evaluate that process means cost estimations, then developing that process. We have to install that new process and maintain this new process. This is actually work study procedures. Then work study with simplifications means we have to make this all these works simple manners. Means if two three components are there, you have to manufacture in this way easily, can manufacture and better utilizations of the man, material, and machines in order to achieve these targets. If critical works are there, you can split into small elements, and the unnecessary elements we have to delete and go for rearrangement of this. This is the simplification. Then relations with the humans relations. Yeah, it is actually good things to improvement in the production and productivity, how that work study will make good relations with the laborers and it will lead to increasing in production and productivity. These things we have seen. This is our revisions of first chapters. Now let us we go to the next chapters, that is the method study. Unit number 2, method study. What is actually syllabus of method study? uh, the as usual, what is actually method study, objective of method study, scope of method study in industry, what is the procedures, and what are the different charts actually it has been using in industry, and through this we can get the actually times required for manufacturing component, unnecessary methods, unnecessary any activity that we will going to neglect this. Now let us see the definition as per the syllabus. First point, what is the definition of method study? It is the process of subjecting work to systematic, critically scrutiny to make it more effective and more efficient. It is the one of the key to achieving the productivity improvement. Means this method study is the process. Process means to convert the raw material into finished product. This is the process. Now, how this process systematically manufacturing this uh, product and critical scrutiny of that product in a to effective use or efficiency in the manufacturing, it will helps to increase the productions, productivity, and reduction in the cost. Means method study is the study of the present matter, systematically critical examinations of this, and how to increase the effectiveness in that methods so that your productions or productivity will get increased. So let us consider one example. Suppose you're manufacturing one conveyor parts. Okay, so what is the present methods? First, you can go for blanking, piercing, then the manufacturing of your this pin, bush, roller separately, and then we'll go for assembly. Before assembly, heat treatment should be there. This is the ongoing process in industry. Now you have to study this process and how we can reduce the cost of manufacturing of this. Suppose blanking and piercing is different operations, so different tooling is required, different process is required, separate manpower is required. So instead of this, is it possible to make that blanking piercing operations within the one stroke of the machine so that one manpower's one machine and higher output will be there. So systematically study of the present process and find out the which is the area uh, uh, is there, and because of that the manufacturing cost will get increased. Optimizations, correct. The conveyors actually used to transport the material from one place to next place. For that conveyor power is required, and this power is depends upon the initial weight of the conveyors, material which is kept on that conveyors, and the movement speed. So for this we require the powers. Suppose we can optimize the conveyor structures. If we reduce the per meter weight of the conveyors, then the power required to drive that conveyors will be less. Once power will be less, related cost will be less, and definitely your manufacturing cost will reduced. Then whatever input is there, it will come down. Output will be the more, and because of this, your productivity will get increased. So method study is nothing but systematic study of the present thing and how we can make is more effective, efficiently manners in order to increase the productivity. So this is the definition. Now, why there is a need of this method study? Means objective of method study. Objective of method study to find out one best way of doing the job. This is the first objective. So in industry, number of components are there. We are manufacturing bearings, we are manufacturing a crankshaft, correct? We are manufacturing bottles, we are manufacturing gears, we are manufacturing conveyors. So many product we are manufacturing in industry. But in industry, um, which is the best methods for manufacturing that product? For example, link up the conveyors we can manufacture by three ways. We can manufacture by casting, we can manufacture by forging, we can manufacture by press tool. So which is the best way to manufacture this? That you have to think. And how to decide on which point you will going to decide which is the best way, where the cost will going to reduce. So this is the first objective of method study, best way of doing a job. There are various methods of the doing jobs to determine the best way and the related parameters and the raw material till the final product delivers to the customers. This is the objective. See that in industry, the total cost already I told it is around 60% cost is related to raw materials. So we can think how to reduce the cost of the raw material, wastage of the raw material, parallel properties, some material having parallel property without affecting the function of the uh, this particular product, whether it is feasible to change the raw materials. Two operation can be combines this. Manpower shall be reduce this. Wastage of the raw material, power required to make that product. Is it possible to reduce? Is it correct? So these are the objective and ultimate aims to increase the production, productivity, reduce the cost. Now, next point, what is the scope of method study? The first scope to improve the work method and procedures. As usual, whatever the method it is going in industry, you have to get it study and logically, systematically by critical examinations how it is possible to reduce the cost by changing the process, by changing the methods. So this is the first scope of the method study. Second scope, to determine the best sequence of doing work. Sequence should be there. And the first raw material, after getting the drawing, what is the first sequence? First of all, you have to cut. If the machining component is there, first we have to cut that component with help of hex or bend saw. After cutting, what is there? Next operations maybe a lathe machine operation, maybe milling operation, maybe shaping operation, maybe planing operation. But which operation shall we give the first preference so that cost will not increase? The movement of job should not be there. The plant layout should be according to that. Correct. So that transportation, movement cost, manpower handling cost, all these things will reduce. Accordingly, the sequence should be there. Then to smoothen the material flow with the minimum backtracking to improve the layout. See that in industry, uh, two types of layout always be there. One is the product layout and second is process layout. Product layout means as per the product, we have to lay down the our machinery. For example, sugar industry, the continuous production, mass production is there. So as per the requirement of product to be manufactured, you have to lay down that machine so that continuous and smooth productions will be there. This is one example. And second examples, for example, nut and bolt manufacture. Continuously, we are manufacturing nut and bolt. So starting from the raw material to the finished product, the whatever machinery we required, it should be in one line. This product layout also be it is called line layout. So all machinery should be in one line so that once the raw material will enter in first stage, it will go on processing and ultimately the final product will be there. Okay, this is the smooth movement of the raw material up to the finished product. Okay, so in batch production, it should not be there. In batch production, it is actually depends upon the process. For example, number of process we are doing on the lathe machine. Some process we are doing on the milling machine. Some process we are doing on the shaping, planners, CNC, VMC, like this. We are grouping all this. This is actually batch production. Okay. So once operations will get over, then we have to go to the next. For example, always we are doing facing, turning, boring operation, etc. on the lathe machine. Once all this operation will get over, then we'll move this component to the drilling. If the holes are there, drillings is there, reaming is there. So here the flow of this raw material from one stage to next stage should be in the smooth manner. So this is about point three. Point number four, to improve the working condition, hence to improve the labor efficiency. This is a very important point. Working conditions. So one industry is there, the in some area hot conditions, cold conditions always be there, and definitely the labor efficiency it is depends upon the working condition. If the worker will satisfy with the present environment, definitely efficiency of the workers will get increased. Okay, so in what way the working conditions is there? Environmental working conditions, management's policy, within that working condition will be there. Ergonomically, things always be there. Fatigue should not be more. The transportation handled by the manual should not be there. So you have to think in such way The workers will satisfy with his work. They will not feel any problems while doing the work, so that efficiency will get increased. Good working, maybe temperatures, management policy conditions, or the flow of the material, the manually flow of the materials, or sometimes so many instruction actually getting from the higher management to the same man. It should not be there. Step by step, the communication should be there, and always workers will satisfied with his work. Then and then, it is possible to increase the labor efficiency, to reduce the monotony in the work. What is actually monotony? Monotony means the same work we will have to do again and again. If we are doing the same work again and again, what will happen? Our mind will not work, correct? And there is no improvements in our brain. Thinking powers will get less, correct? So this is the monotony, and this actually we require to reduce. As per our Japanese technology, change for betterment is this. Means each and every minutes we have to change something so that freshness will remain, and the peoples will feel that to continue their work without any fatigue. So here monotony will not create in the labors. Okay, how to avoid this? Don't give repeated work. Suppose um, one man is working on one lathe machine for uh, turning, boring operation. Tomorrow you can give the drilling. Then day after tomorrow you can allow him on this milling machine. After that shaping, you can make the round. So each and every day you can change the duties of that, so that that labors will not feel monotony, freshness will maintain, and this uh, part comes under the scope of method study. Utilization, material utilization. See that three M's are there in industry. Three M, triple M. What it contains? Man, material, and machines. Proper utilizations of these three things, there is the effect of the methods. Then 7 point, elimination of waste and unproductivity operation. Say that raw material wastage, this is always dangerous to that industry, because nearly about the more than 60% cost that is related to raw material, and if we are doing the waste of the material for this making a component, definitely our cost, raw material cost will get increased. So you have to eliminate that unproductivity operations, means which operation which is not necessary for that component, that we have to reduce. Now, which is the example for unproductivity operations? Very simple thing is that while doing any jobs on lathe machine, turning, facing, champering is this. Correct. So while making these jobs, while facing, you can go for champers. No need to keep separate operation for champering. So like this way, unnecessary the operations we can reduce. While facing, you can give the champers. Correct. Not necessary to make separate operation for champering. Then next point is that is the reduce the manufacturing cost through reducing cycle times of operation. Suppose one jobs on CNC machine, turning, boring, champering, step turning. To make the jobs, suppose we require 10 minutes. Now, how we can reduce these times? Instead of 10 minutes, if you make 8 minutes, 2 minutes we can save. Definitely, the per hour costs of the CNC machine we can reduce, because continuous workings of the machine 2 minutes each product means it is continuous. The job production is there, then multiply by the number of jobs, and then that much cost will get decreased. Okay, so this is the scope of the method study. Okay, then next thing, step or procedures involved in method study. Basic approach to method study consists of following 8 steps. Detailed procedure for conducting method study as shown in figures. So here's our first figures related to work study already I have given. So once I will go back and show you. So this is the actually process, work study process, correct? Selection of the work, recording what is going on, examinations, develop new methods, evaluate new methods, set that new methods, and continue or maintain. So same process we will have to go for method study. So see that same process. Hmm. So what the process related to work study, same process it is useful for a method study. So first point, select the work to be studied and define its boundaries. Select work. For examples, in our production centers, if you want to study about the methods, then you can concentrate in the production center. Select the job. Which jobs it is manufacturing in our production centers, that is the gear blank. So first you can study about the drawing, then you can make the program as per the dimension. Study about the geometrical and dimensional tolerance. After this, you can make the program, feed this program in the machines. Then we can hold the raw material in the check of the CNC machines, make it zero, and start the machines. The cycles time will start. Within few minutes, the job will get complete. Correct. So here your selected job for study. Similarly for VNC. So you can select the jobs for study. This is our first thing, and you can assign certain boundaries. Means how this component will not able to get distorts, get damaged, surface finish, how it is possible to achieve. Means totally it is depend upon speed, feed, and depth of cuts. That boundary you have to assign. How much speed, how much feed, what is the depth of cut, what is the surface finish. This boundary you have to define. Record the relevant fact about the jobs by direct observation, collecting such additional data as may be needed from the appropriate resource. Recording. So, what is actually speed, feed, depth of cut? This record should be there. How much time is required the for doing these jobs? What is the number of steps in this? Whatever going on, means programming is there. Then after that, feeding is there. After that, zero setting is there. After that, start the machine in job. So nowadays, this this is present method, but nowadays some research is going on in some of the industry. So after drawing, we have to make the program, and after program, we have to implement the program in the CNC machine, and the job will make it finish. But instead of this, if you give only drawing to the machine automatically will make these programs, and that machine will perform the operation as per drawing all the operations on the job. Okay, so this recording technique should be observed. Is it possible to make it change everything logically? You have to get it record. Then exam, the way the job is being performed, challenging its purpose, place sequence, method of purpose. So what is the sequence of operation? Where we can use these jobs? Planetary gearbox. How much the accuracy is required? And what is actually the performance of the present method? Is it feasible? It is affordable to this college or not? This recording should be there. And if you find certain lacuna in this manufacturing, then you can develop the new method. In that methods, it should be economical, effective methods. Then if you are having certain logic to reduce the cycle times, to reduce the certain operations, to reduce the programs making, to reduce the time required for feeding. Is it correct? So is it possible uh, or not? That you have to think, and accordingly you can develop a certain new method than the present methods. After developing, you have to evaluate. Yeah, evaluations means just your paper evaluation is there. How much mark out of hundreds? Similarly, for manufacturing cost, how much will be there? That is the evaluating technique. Means after developing these new methods, you have to evaluate methods, define the new method. As a result, it is clear manners and present to those concerned management supervisor. And you can define these methods to all the mans which is exist in industry, maybe workers, supervisors, and management. And after that, install that methods, and you can show that how this is different from present methods. If the worker supervisors and top management will feel that definitely the whatever the install method is better than present methods, and you can go for maintaining the recently developed methods. Okay, so this is the procedures. Okay, so once again I will repeat the what is actually the procedure for method study. First of all, select the particular jobs where actually you want to apply this method study. Record the present thing, examination of present thing, develop a new thing. Whatever you have developed, that you have to evaluate. Define this purpose of each and every months which is exist in the industry. Then if there is a good or positive response, okay, this what you have developed, this is okay, then you can go for installing and maintain this process and show that the how your the developed method is better than present methods. So procedure for method study is this: how your new developed method is better than old methods. Okay. So nowadays, the whatever nut and bolt we are manufacturing, it uh, it comes under the mass production. But few years back, they used to manufacture by upside forging one by one. Okay, and related to that, the transportation cost, material feeding cost, labor cost, so many costs were there. Now, instead of this, if you continuously flow of the materials and accordingly, if you develop such machinery, definitely productions of nut bolts will get increased. Okay, so you can go for this, and nowadays this is actually need of every industry, every industry. So whenever you will be in industry, first of all, you can think about the present and how to improve the present method so that cost will get reduced, efficiency will get increased, better performance, better production, and better productivity. Okay, so this is about the procedures. Then here's by charts I have given these procedures. So select record, exam, develop, evaluate, define, install, and maintain. By these charts, uh, we can make use of this knowledge while using these method study principles in the shop floors. Okay, in big industry, they are manufacturing any component, and if you studied about the process, so many processes are there. Rolling process is there to make that cover. Drawing process is there to make the sheet metal parts lever like the presses are there to make the engine heads parts. We have the casting to make the crankshaft. We have the forging. So many processes are there. So after making all these things, we have to go for assembly. Okay. So within this process, you have to study where is actually critical place where we have to concentrate so that new thing will be developed, and this new thing, it is applicable to that industry from the cost point of view, production point of view, productivity point of view, efficiency point of view, effectiveness point of view, performance of the workers point of view. So this thing will be there. So here everywhere you have to use this process or method study, select, record, exam, evaluate, define to what is actual purpose for developing these new methods to all management, supervisor, workers. If they will get agree, then you have to go for installation. And after installation, you have to maintain this for doing that particular production. Then selection of the jobs by method. So which point actually you require to think while selecting a job in this method 3. Now, suppose you are thinking to apply the method study principles in industry. What is our first point? Select the jobs where we can apply our method study. While selecting the jobs, which point actually you need to consider? It is given. The first is cost is main criteria for selection. Suppose your cost of manufacturing is more, then first of all you have to concentrate in that process. Suppose in one industry, forming processes are there, machining processes are there, casting processes are there, joining processes are there. Now you can think which process is costly to that industry. This is the first criteria while selecting a job. Department for methods analysis to carry out the methods the job is selected such that proposed method achieves one or more of the following result. Now, after selecting the cost related the working area or the process of the manufacturing, uh, how it is possible to make that improvement. This thing also you have to consider while selecting the uh, this particular component. Which point should be the improvement in quality with lesser cost? Means, if the quality definitely it will effect on the purchase. So without affecting the quality, without affecting the purpose, how we can reduce the scrap? Scrap reduction is also major things in selecting a job. Then increase the production through the better utilization of resource. Increase the productions with better utilization of resource. What are the resources? Materials, machines, and mans. These are the resources. Better utilization of this, if it is possible, then you can select only that area. Then the elimination of unnecessary operation and movement. Unnecessary. Just before few minutes, I have given this. Eliminate unnecessary operation means while facing any company, we can make champer there. Don't give a separate operations for this. So this we can combine facing and champering at a time. Movement, unnecessary movement you can. Suppose Hexa machine is too away from machining centers, then we required certain material handling system, or sometimes same material we can bring with help of man. So we required manpower for this transportation of material. If it is theirs, then you can concentrate over this. Improved layout, any problem in present layout, material is flowing smooth or not, you have to think. Okay, so first operation, the lathe machine operation, after that drilling operation, after that milling operation, after that heat treatment operation, after that grinding, you have to make the sequence in such way that the production will get continuous. No any machines will remain idle in the production line. At the same time, your working conditions, that is very important. If working condition is there, working environment is there, job satisfaction is there, simplification is there, standardization of job is there, definitely the man will work in that organization for more time. So these are the points you have to remember while selecting a job for method study in industry. Okay. So cost, wastage, working conditions, flow of the materials, improvement in the working conditions. Now, some selection points also here given: economic aspect, technical aspect, and human aspect. So, economic aspect, there the method study cost is very important. Sufficient return should be there. If return is not there, what is the work for doing the jobs? Some bottleneck operations, some problems in the doing the operations that you have to avoid. Operation should not be expensive, labor should not be required. Expensive means higher salary labor. Operation producing a lot of scratch or defect, no use of this. Operation having poor utilization of resource, no use of this. Backtracking of material, excessive movement of material means the transportation. If there's transportation cost, if it get increased, definitely the production cost will increase. The technical aspect, whatever the manual work is there, that is replaced by technology. This is the technical aspect. So many aspects are there. Then our workers, the uh, workers recording techniques. Here, so too many factors will be there. The change in the effect way in which the job is presently not fulfill aspected by one work or union. Human constitution plays vital roles in the method study. These are some situations where human aspects should be considered due to. So while doing method study, what is actually opinions of workers that also take into consideration. Working, complaining about the unnecessary and trying a job, more frequency of accident, inconsistency, earning. So if earning is fluctuation, nobody would like to work in that industry. More accident is happening in that industry, nobody will work in that industry. Then workers' complaints are there, unnecessary work. If we give to the workers, that workers will become abroad. So as possible as we can avoid this. Then this is about the selections. Okay. Then the recording technique is there. Recording techniques. So recording technique for method study. Next step in basic procedure after selecting work to be studied is to be recording all facts related to existing method. So what is the first step in method study? Select the area. On which point? Cost related point, the technical related point, humans related point. On this basis, you have to select the working area. Then whatever the existing process is there, that you have to go for recording. Cycle times you have to record. Hmm. Handling times you have to record. Wastage of the material you can record. Unnecessary body motions you can record. So this recording technique actually requiring methods. In order that activities selected for investigation may be visualized in their entire and in order to improve them to the subsequent critical examination. Critical examinations means what? You have to ask a number of questions to yours. Why this operation is required? Who will do this operation? If we do by less skilled worker, what will happen? Which machines we can use? If you use the costly machine, the cost will get increased. So these are the critical examinations points. It comes under the recording. It is essential to have some means of placing on record unnecessary facts. Some unnecessary activity if are exist in that methods that you have to collect. Records are very much useful to make before after comparisons to assess the effectiveness of proposed improved methods. Means if you are having certain idea in your minds, is it possible to develop new methods over the present method that you have to get it compared. Recording techniques are designed to simplify and standardize recording work for this purpose. Charts and diagrams are. Now, what the tools actually we require for recording purpose? For this purpose, we have charts. Now, in method study, so many charts are there, and with help of these charts, we can decide what is the problem in present methods and how we can overcome these problems by developing new methods. So this is the methods and techniques by charts. I have shown this recording techniques. So how many charts are there? You can study this. How many charts are there? So here two diagrams are there. One is the string diagram and second is flow diagram. String diagram means it is used for movement of that worker or movement of the material from the stores to the manufacturing unit. Okay, this is the movement. And flow diagram means while processing this any component, in which way the component is moving from one process to the other process, so that here we can reduce the related cost, that means transportation cost. Very important thing. These two charts, while making these two charts, it helps us to reduce the transportation cost. Both charts, it is related to unnecessary movement. So what is that flow charts? What is this uh, string diagrams? That we're going to study with some examples after completing the certain part of this chapter. Now here charts are there. All the charts, it has been divided into two types: the macro motion chart and micro motion chart. Macro means little bit big motion is there, and microns means small process, uh, small process which is captured by the video, the film, or camera. This is the micro motion chart. Suppose we are doing certain work. So what is actually small movement of your both hands, which the body part of the workers may get affected, so that the efficiency will get decreased of that man. So we have to study the micro thing, small thing, which will get captured in video, this camera, and by slow motions, we have to capture this and we have to eliminate this. For this, we required micro motion charts. Two charts are there: micro motion chart number one and micro motion chart number two. Okay. Micro motion chart. This is also called CMO charts. Okay. Now macro motion charts here: operation process chart, flow process charts. flow process charts, 200 process chart, and multiple activity charts. Means one man can handle more than machine. This is multiple activity. 200 process charts means one a man can do these jobs with both hands without remain idle any one of these two. Then flow process chart means how that material, raw material can flow from the stores to the finished end. Operation process chart means what is the sequence of operation? Pacing, turning, drilling, milling, grinding, heat treatment, once again grinding. So this sequence it will comes under the process chart. Is it possible to remove this sequence or not? That you have to think. Okay, so this is about the recording techniques for method study. So deep by step by step, we have gone through this. First point, select. Second point is recording. While selecting the jobs, which point you have to remember. Then after this recording techniques, you have to remember for this method study. So up to here, it is clear. Anybody having any problems, you can ask. Method study, it is the study of the present works and developing new methods in order to reduce the cost, production, and reduce the cost, increase the production and productivity. But this is the systematic way, logically way. We have to remove the unnecessary motions, unnecessary operations, transportation cost, like this way. Things are there. So up to here it is clear. And to study about this technique, we have this chart in method study. So here's uh, four charts are there, and two micro motion chart is force and micro motion charts are tools one and two, and diagrams are there, flow charts and string diagram. So this is the recording techniques used in method study. Okay. So up to here it is clear. See, if anybody having any problems, you can ask any point. If you are not getting, you can ask. Number of examples I have given, practically examples in industry. You can uh, take any industry, maybe plastic manufacturing industry, maybe casting industry, maybe forging industry, maybe machining industry, maybe forming process industry, maybe joining process industry. So you can take any industry. There is a need of method study, and step by step we have to go for improvement in existing methods. Whatever presently it is going on, you have to get it improved. Okay, and how to get it improved? For this purpose, we require the knowledge of method study. Okay, and which point you have to consider here? The main 3 points: the working efficiency or performance of the workers will remain constant, cost, production, and productivity. Everything will remain same. Then there should be logic. In order to study about this logic, we have these charts. One is micro motion chart and a macro motion charts, and two diagrams are there: string diagram and flow diagram. So, what are these diagrams? Step by step, we will going to see. But before that, the brief explanations about the points related to the method study procedures that uh, that is in front of you. Okay. So, if anybody having any problems, can ask. Any problems? Any questions? So next next lecture, or after one more lectures, we're going to conduct one quiz related to chapter number one, and each chapter will going to conduct a quiz, and that will store in our uh, this database in it, and accordingly we'll continue. Okay. Okay. If anybody having any problems, you can ask. The next time we're going to study about the different types of chart used in micro motion chart. First, we'll go to the operation charts, and after this, we go to next flow process charts. Okay, so these are the flow process charts. 200 processor, multiple activity, the symbol used in. See that this is the flow process charts. Let us we take one example in less lectures and what is actually distance and symbols and process description. These parts we're going to see. So once again, the sequence of the our study I will show those were absent for the previous lectures. You can remember this is our syllabus first section. The second sections still we are not gone through the procedures up to methods for the second chapters. Okay. So if anybody having any questions, you can ask. So no questions. We'll stop here today.